What's up, cool people? Welcome to another game review. Today I am reviewing PowerWash Simulator. I realize a lot of people have played this game. It's a, I'm trying to remember the exact phrase for it. Like, oddly relaxing kind of thing for a lot of people. So, as the name implies, you are a power washing service, and your task throughout the game is to just go clean various things by using your power washing tools. There are a few different modes in the game. They're not all available right away. Like, I don't think the challenge modes are available right off the bat. And the free play, I'm pretty sure, like, I think most of the stuff you need to actually, like, do some of the primary career mode that's all the way over here on the left before accessing any of these, like, bonus jobs or other stuff. Challenge mode is where it gets a little bit less relaxing and more challenging, surprise, surprise. But basically you can go back and do things that you've done in the game, but with some limitations, or more like goals, I guess, to either complete it in a certain amount of time or complete it using less than a certain amount of water. And you'll get, like, gold, silver, bronze ratings depending on how well you do with those and that kind of stuff. So that's the challenge mode. Free play is exactly what it sounds like. You just do the different jobs from the game with no restrictions whatsoever. It basically lets you go back and redo them as many times as you want. Because in the normal mode, that's... I mean, I guess you can do them. It just sorts them in a way that makes that seem less practical. And then as you complete the main jobs, you also get bonus jobs that, as the name implies, they are extra, not part of the primary campaign thing, but I believe completing those also gives you money in the game. And, of course, that money is then used on the shop here to, like, upgrade your power washer, which there's 4 different levels of throughout the game. And then, of course, there are accessories to go with those respective levels that basically give you extensions and soap using ability. Which those come from this list of cleaning liquids here. These are pretty much designed to help you clean certain surfaces and or types of, I would say dirt, but it's not all dirt. I don't know. Different types of uncleanliness. It is supposed to make those easier when you use the liquids. And then there's also cosmetics and stuff, but that's all the clothing really does, or the modifications. It's just stuff to, you know, customize your gear, make it look different, possibly more interesting, or definitely more personalized. So that's kind of the breakdown of the different modes in the game and how it all works. Options are pretty standard, nothing that really stands out a ton in terms of, I mean, you can customize the experience a little bit within the settings, but there's not any, like, major accessibility features, I would say. So, with all that being explained, let me hop into a job here and actually give you a sense of how the game works. So, it'll give you a little bit of a description of the job here on the left before you actually start it. Those are generally inconsequential, honestly. Like, there are theories about lore and things like that within this game, and that's all well and good and fine. You know, I appreciate the people who are that dedicated at looking into the dialogue and the situations of games and trying to break down what all is going on with it. But I'm not real big on all that myself. So anyway, this whole game goes from a first-person perspective, and you're pretty much taking your power washer and cleaning all the things. Tell you what, let me move my webcam a little bit down to the bottom right corner, because that, all you really see there is just different stances that you can be in. You can be standing, crouching, or prone, and that mostly just helps you get dirt at different, like, levels relative to where you are. And I'm playing this on Xbox, specifically Xbox One, so any control explanations I give will be based on that. So I am pressing in the right stick to change my, stance. Now, if you look at the center of the screen, the little reticle there, right now that kind of shows that I'll be spraying horizontally. If I press left trigger, I can change that to vertical. So now it looks more like this. And there are different nozzle degrees that you can use, which basically turn it from... Tell you what, let me start off with... Okay, so this is what uses all the soaps and stuff. If you're having trouble with certain surfaces and want to use a particular cleaning spray on them. If I press left bumper, that'll change to this, which is like a really wide degree nozzle. You can also see some of these options if you go in... if I hold down Y, I can see the different nozzles. So this one's the 40 degree. If I go left bumper again, that's the 25. The yellowish one is 15. This is 0, so it's more like a jet spray. And then there's also the turbo nozzle, which is the jet, but it also rotates. Most of the time when I'm cleaning stuff, I will use the 15 degree unless I need to get some really stuck on stuff. Then I might try the turbo or the 0 degree. Now, you can spray with either right trigger and hold that down, or you can actually press left on the D-pad and it'll just maintain the spray for you. Anyway, occasionally you'll see messages pop up on the screen. That's just kind of a report on, I don't know, other jobs that might be coming up. Maybe comments from the person who hired you to do this job. Whatever it is. So... movement's pretty standard. Move with the left stick. Aim with the right stick. There is also, if you press up on the D-pad, that'll do it like this, to where you just kind of stay with a mostly static field of view, and then you can just kind of stay still and spray from there. I don't use that view a whole lot because it generally doesn't allow you to cover a very wide area. Trying to think. Let me stop this real quick. Down on the D-pad will let you pick up and place items like this stool here, or the ladder over here. Now, I will say, speaking of the ladder, my main complaint about this game is that once you pick up the ladder, you have to place it somewhere. it will not let you place the ladder. And when I say place it somewhere, I mean you have to put it like up against something. It will not, to my understanding, let you place the ladder back down on the ground. Which is a bit annoying because usually whenever you place the ladder somewhere, it's in the way of something. So then you have to either move the ladder again to get it out of your way, or just try and work around it to get a particular surface clean that the ladder happens to be in front of. So anyway, that's pretty much the general gist of how the game works. If you look at the top right corner, you'll see that's the, money that I've earned and have available in the game. And as I clean certain sections within the job area, right underneath that you'll see, okay, you earned $3 for cleaning this thing. Or something like that. I find it kind of odd that the post is $2, and yet the entire long section of wall like this is only $3. Like, you would think that should be a little more, relatively speaking, considering how much larger the stone area is. Oh yeah, by the way, I'm also using, like, the third set of power washing equipment in the game, so this is not just the basic stuff. But generally, the more stuck-on dirt and things like that, only become more frequent later in the game. Also, big thing to keep in mind, if you look at the top left of the screen, you can kind of see your overall progress with the circle and the percentage, and the other kind of meter next to the circle and the percentage, that's kind of your progress on the specific part of the job that you're currently cleaning. So like as I clean this particular bit of the stone wall, you'll see that go down pretty quick. And then once it's all done, it kind of flashes there a little bit to say, hey, you're done with this piece, you can move on. Another very important thing to know when playing this game is that you can press a button, namely right on the D-pad, and see the dirt glowing. So it makes it real obvious where you need to clean. And that becomes super helpful later on in doing particular jobs. Because, yeah. Sometimes there's just little bits of stuff that you leave behind without really meaning to, and that'll very much help you see what you've missed. Especially if the dirt that remains happens to be dark dirt that's on a dark surface. So then you can press that button and it'll, glow all like yellowish orange and make it real easy to see. Now it is not quite as easy to see on lighter surfaces, but generally speaking, it'll still be visible. Alright, let me go ahead and just finish up this outer fence and wall area before I hop into the next thing. So, if you press start, it'll bring up, your menu of things, this right here shows you a list of all the surfaces that need to be cleaned for the given job you're working on. And if you pick one of them, let's say I pick Windows here, and select it with A, and press Start to back out, it'll then make that surface glow. Also really helpful when you're trying to finish things up at the end, and you're like, where even is this surface? Where do I find this? And then deselect it with A and all that. If you press B from here, it will take you back to, like, previous things like the job selection screen and all that. I've done that countless times without really meaning to. I'm thinking, oh, B is how I exit the menu. No, the best way to exit the menu is actually hitting Start. To just go straight back to the job. Speaking of B, if you hold B while you're in the middle of a job, you can select any of the cleaning liquids. I mentioned Y does the nozzles. X will give you extension options. But otherwise, I think that pretty much breaks down all the game mechanics and how it all works and stuff. So, now that I've kind of explained how the game works, let me explain some of my, or just get to my thoughts on the game. As a whole, this is one of those games that I think a lot of people find as a quote-unquote guilty pleasure. Kind of like the oddly satisfying stuff you might find online. I personally kind of like the game. It, like, the progression of it, I think is what really, you know, drives me to want to keep going with it. But yeah, I guess after I complete all the jobs and the challenges and stuff like that, I could see it losing interest for me real quickly. Don't know if that'll be the case for everybody, though. Some people just really like watching power washing stuff and all that, and I could see them maybe wanting to do it themselves to an extent in this game. So, on the whole with this game, I mean, I guess there's some replayability with the challenge modes and the free play and all that kind of stuff. There's also some DLC if, you know, you're really into this game and you want to pay a little more money to add some more jobs. So, honestly, on the whole, pretty solid game. Like, this is about the best thing that I could expect from a game called PowerWash Simulator. Again, my main gripe with the game is the whole thing with the ladder. It starts off on the ground. Why can you not set it back on the ground? But that's really just a minor inconvenience on the whole. So, overall, if I were going to rate this game on a scale of 1 to 10, pretty solid in my opinion. I'd give it somewhere in the realm of like an 8. It's nothing like flashy or fancy, but I mean, it does what you expect it to do, and it works reasonably well. There's enough things to keep you occupied for a while without it like dragging on forever. So yeah, if you're interested in something like this, go check it out. I'm not sure what the current price is. I'm playing this, I think I just downloaded it free with, I think this was a Game Pass Core option. So yeah, if you're on Xbox and want to check it out, there's something to look into. But otherwise, I think that covers all my thoughts on the game. So, yeah. Hope you enjoyed my little review of PowerWash Simulator here. Hope you'll tune in for more in the future. But, until the next time I see you, Stay cool, people.